All right, so it's Saturday night. It's about 7:30. So Friday was really hot. It was really steamy, and it wasn't a ton of fun. There were a lot of people that stopped and asked about the 335, and I got to talk to a lot of people on Friday. Probably 15 or 20 people stopped, which was really cool. But other than that, didn't really do a whole lot. I didn't even run in the parade because it was just hot. Stayed out here till about 7, and then I headed home. Came back this morning. We had some rain overnight. Pretty good thunderstorm about 4 o'clock in the morning. And everything made it through just fine. I woke up at like 4 a.m. because there was hail, with a little bit of a panic, but everything fared just fine. We came back this morning and we had a great day today. I ran in the parade. Will ran the 335 and I ran the 445. Got some video of that. want to be on camera.
Yeah.
They just want to be on camera. also, over the course of the last 2 days, found a couple of Jetstars that I want to show you. Actually, all three Jetstars, Jetstar 2, and the Jetstar 3 Super. The only thing I didn't find here was a Jetstar 3 regular. So I put some snippets together of that, some walk-arounds. I hope you enjoy that. Alright, Jetstar 1, or the regular Jetstar. So this had the same 206 engine as the 445, but this put out 56 horsepower, 48 at the PTO. So power-wise, it was a little bit bigger. Manufactured from 1959 to 1962. There was a gas option and a diesel option. You see there's no tachometer takeoff and no speedometer takeoff off the brakes. The rear end was a little bigger, it was geared differently, and then it just had the smaller dash, but it had the same paneling as the 445. The brakes were relatively the same, with the same housing back there. They brought the clutch pedal up, and then they had a linkage that came up here to the clutch, so it was a foot clutch. 445 was a foot clutch too, but the foot clutch came right off of here versus having that pivot point down there. This has got a hydraulic tank off the back of it. You can see the headlights would have been up here, but they mounted them down here on that same brace that the 445 has. Now this one has standoffs that raise them up just a little bit. The Jetstar 2 that I'm going to show you in a minute does not have that standoff. And the brakes, again, rather than coming straight out, they have this big sweeping arm. Same side panels, same hood. It's got the scoop, but it's got a latch here instead of having the latch over here. You can see maybe that there's a crossbar that goes in through the center here, and that's what you would use to let the hood up. Okay, we'll go check out the Jetstar 2. Jetstar 2 was similar in a lot of ways. It had the same hood latch, same paneling, different paint. Jetstar 2 is all brown, or Jetstar is all brown. Jetstar 2 is brown with the Prairie Gold number 2 paint on it. Same operator platform, everything there is the same. So the Jetstar 2 was manufactured in 1963 only. There were 1,200 total that were built. 1,100 of them were gas, 113 of them were diesel, and they sold for $5 grand. They were 48 horsepower total, 44 horsepower at the PTO. The operator platform was a little different than the 445. So you see these foot plates are flat all the way across. It's got a step to get up to the operator platform. There is no tachometer and there is no speedometer. And get down under there. So there's the brake hub, but there's no speedometer housing. And so that means that the gauge cluster was a little different. So you had your temp, you had your oil pressure, and you had your amps, and that was it. Quite a few similarities, but also some differences. The seat was very different. Still has the ampy torque, so it's still 10 speeds, 5 high, 5 low. This one gets used pretty regularly. I talked to the gentleman that owns it. This is more of their work tractor, and they got a quick hitch on the back. Three-point, very similar to the 445. Very cool tractor. I'd like to have one in the fleet someday. You can see that they've done the aftermarket regular oil filter instead of the regular oil filter pan or oil filter housing that should be down there. Yeah, so that's the Jetstar 2. Okay, here's a Jetstar 3 Super. So this concludes the 3 stages of the Jetstar. Although this is a Super, not just a Jetstar 3. There was a difference. Most of it was just electrical upgrades. Both the Jetstar 3 and the Jetstar 3 Super were 48 horsepower. You can see the change from the Jetstar 2 to the 3. We got new sheet metal. We kept that same grill, but this turned into more of that 860 G1000 kind of look. It's still the 206 engine, so nothing really changed there. Here we did go back to a tack. Okay, you can see the tack there, or the tack drive I should say. And then our gauges got upgraded, so the instrument panel looks a little different. Operator platform looks a little different, although it also looks very similar. The clutch pedal, very similar, runs up just like that, just like the other two. But probably the most noticeable difference is just the look itself. These came in gas, diesel, or LP. Had that same seat as the Jetstar 1 and Jetstar 2. Three-point, it's a little bit different. But yeah, I like the Jetstar 3. I like the look of it. So that pretty much concludes the 3 stages of the Jetstar. And I'm gonna head over to the tractor pull here shortly. I will be out here again tomorrow. If they have the sawmill running and maybe the shingle mill running, maybe the hit and misses, I'll get a chance to get over there tomorrow. But it was really busy today. Even though we had a little bit of rain and the weather wasn't fantastic, it still was a very busy Saturday for this show. I know Will was working the parking lot on the west side, and they closed that at about 12:30. The east side got closed even before that, and they were kind of running people everywhere. So the attendance level was way up, which is good. And yeah, all in all, it's been a fantastic weekend, other than the heat yesterday, which really got to me. But yeah, I'm glad I could share it with you guys, and I hope to get a little more on video tomorrow, and then Monday we're going to come out and haul everything home and get ready for now then. So all right, I'll bring you back if there's anything else that I want to show you. Thanks. quick night shot of the sawmill. This is all closed down for the night, but we got a log all set up and then ready to go for tomorrow. everything home, and the show is a wrap. I did throw just a couple of tractor pull videos in for you, but yeah, most of the excitement for me this weekend was just being out there with the tractors and being in the parade and having fun with my family. So overall, the show was great. The only nitpicky thing I have to say is the flea market really was not great. It's probably the first year that I've ever not bought anything at the flea market. I probably only spent about 45 minutes up there, and there was just nothing there. So that was kind of unfortunate, but everything else was really good. The Almelund Fire Department made some great burgers. The hit and miss engines were good. The kitty pedal tractor pull was good. The buildings all had really good displays as usual. So all in all, it was good. I walked away with my typical shingle and my button. So that's my takeaways from Almelund this year, and they will go on the shelf with all the others. I'd like to be able to say that everything went off without a hitch. I did have one mini problem, and that was the last tractor I loaded up was the Z, and my solenoid on the starter I think burned up, so I had to have it pull started so I could get it on the trailer. So we've got a little bit of work to do this week before we go over to Now Then. So unfortunately, I'm not going to just be able to leave this on the trailer like I'd like to. I am going to have to unload it. I'm going to have to figure that little issue out and then load it back up again. But the other trailer can just stay as is. Sit for 2 days, and Thursday we'll head over to Now Then. Probably gonna throw the hose on it and just make sure that all the dirt's cleaned up and it's all ready to go. But yeah. All right, so that's it for Almelund 2025. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure you subscribe and follow the channel. And we will see you in 1 week after the Now Then show. Thanks everybody, and take your foot off the clutch.